Mr. Derrick Mahoney and Dr. Mahoney. Okay, everybody's in the right place? Okay, tell you a little bit about our presenters. Mr. Derrick Mahoney, real estate broker, author, and CEO of Mahoney Elite Realty LLC, which is actually kind of 3 different businesses that he works with. He's got a construction business, he's got a real estate business, and he's got his broker's license, which is different from a real estate license, as I appreciate. That's another level up. And in this time of real estate prices and interest rates and house values, you need some good advice. This is a good power couple to talk to about if you're interested in properties and what's the best bet to go that way. He served as a professional real estate agent for 13 years and earned a broker's license with Louisiana Realtor and Estate Commission. He is a member of the Northwest Louisiana Real Estate Commission, holds an associate in business administration, strategic planning, and a bachelor's in business management. Mr. Mahoney prides himself in serving his clients with integrity, knowledge, and confidence, thus a reflection of himself in serving his clients. He is an author of a local best-selling book released in 2020 called The Home Game. Okay? A resource guide that helps first-time home buyers navigate the home buying process with ease. And you can purchase that book on Amazon. Okay? Empowering the people is a personal motto through Mahoney Elite Realty LLC. He strives to pay it forward by offering his recent release called The Success Game. So this is his second release, The Success Game, transforming the mindset to building unstoppable entrepreneurship. Today, he presents tools and techniques to support African American males with making better choices in the area of investment and generational wealth building. His co-presenter today is Dr. Tuesday W. Mahoney. She is founder of Virtually You and HBCU Fan Addict. She is a noted author, educator, realtor, and motivational youth speaker. And she is the founder and creative CEO of HBCU Fan Addict and Virtually You Leadership Academy. So I'd like you all to give a warm welcome to Derrick Mahoney and Dr. Tuesday Mahoney.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Success Game. Get ready for a mindset change. Can I get you to say mindset change? Get ready for mindset change with our seminar. So I'm going to turn it over to our presenter, Mr. Mahoney.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I appreciate y'all coming out. First thing I want to let everybody know, I am not Chris Rock, so don't let y'all come up here. Okay? Yeah, so we'll just cover a few brief things on. I won't go into my bio anymore because he did such an excellent job at explaining everything. So we want to move right on into the mindset agenda.
All right, so we're talking about the success game. How can we help young black boys become successful in their journey? So the purpose of this session is reconnecting the entrepreneurial mindset through strategic empowerment principles that will benefit professionals that work with minority male students. The objective is to redirect negative energy towards positive accomplishments. This session will cover critical components that must be taught in order to shift the perspective of young men and trio professionals towards unstoppable entrepreneurship. Can I get you to say unstoppable?
Unstoppable.
Entrepreneurship. That is our focus today. So we're addressing the values, the aspirations, and the creativity surrounding entrepreneurship as the platform for change in African American males. The attendees of this program will gain materials to help them prepare for students for unstoppable entrepreneurship and in life.
All right, so as far as the mindset agenda, we're going to cover the background. Here's a little tidbit of from our ties to success. where Mahoney Elite partnered with the Suzzle Trio program for the Northwest Louisiana.
Counter church and upward backwards.
All right, as far as the mindset agenda, we're going to cover the background, the roles, the success exercise, and then we'll get into the success game. All right, as far as the background, to understand how to better meet the needs of our black boys, you must understand the social role of black men.
All right, so I'm gonna cover the statistics side, what statistics say about our black boys and black men. And Mr. Mahoney is gonna hit you with the real, basically. All right, so for troubling truths about black boys in the U.S. educational system. So our black boys are 80% more likely to be placed in special ed. Mindset. Black boys are 40% more likely to attend schools without adequate resources for education. Mindset. Black boys are not reading at adequate levels by 8th grade at 10% compared to their counterparts who are reading at a 40% proficiency rate. Mindset. Punishment for black boys remain harsher than any other demographic by 2/3. They get 2/3 more suspension. Mindset. So we ask you, is there a correlation between the lack of education and crime rate? Anybody want to answer that? Is there a correlation?
Yes.
Mindset. Within the U.S., Louisiana has the highest rate of incarcerations, nearly 5 times of the lowest state, which is Maine, according to the Bureau of Prisons. Here are some key interesting facts that are daunting. So black Americans are incarcerated in state prisons at nearly 5 times the rate of white Americans. Nationally, 1 in 8 black adults in the United States is serving time in state prison. Wisconsin leads the nation in black imprisonment rates. 1 of every 36 black consonants is in prison. In 12 states, more than half the prison population is black. That includes what state?
Louisiana.
Thought you knew.
All the southern states.
7 states maintain a black-white disparity larger than 9-1, and that's California, Connecticut, Iowa, Maine, Minnesota, New Jersey, and Wisconsin. So this was a study. This is a recent study, the color of justice, racial and ethnic disparities in state prisons. So that's what the stat is saying about our black boys and their mindset.
So we covered the roles that we're going to use to displace that last slide that they just showed. So we'll, the black male mindset merger. So it's basically we go through and I educate them on how to go from feel like they're second class citizens to we're going to take you to a first class. It's all about your mindset. If you think you can achieve something, you can do it. But we want to kill the negative vibe of to where they just feel like I can't do something because I'm at this demographic. We're going to change that mindset.
So Mahoney Elite Consultant came up with the black male mindset merger. You're the first to be introduced, so take notes. So there's 2 coalitions here that black men have to balance in society. One of them is self-actualization. So self-actualization is the final stage in the linear growth of an individual. Everybody know Maslow? We believe that in order to achieve that this state, self-actualization, personal fulfillment, and the person must first satisfy the preceding needs, and they are physiological, safety, love, belonging, esteem, and in that order. And then racial socialization, and as you see, they are combined. So racial socialization is the way in which parents teach their youth how to navigate the often contradictory messages, or teach them what it means to be black. So can you explain?
So, let's get to the next slide. So one of the things we want to cover is going from being a son. So as we all know, every male in here, we all was a son at some point. So basically we'll cover merging ourselves, coming from a little boy and moving on up to a grown man.
All right, so what we've asked for is some participants in the audience to come up to talk about the pressures of certain roles. So we have the son. Can the son come up? Y'all give him a round of applause when he comes up. We want to acknowledge and represent our black men. We have the father. The father is going to come up as well. Come on, represent y'all. We have the homie. The homie's coming up. And we have the worker. So these are the roles that black men have to balance, and they're going to give examples of the pressure under each role. So I'll read the statistics for you all. Okay, parents of black boys in the United States, like all parents, are faced with the privilege and responsibility of raising their children with culturally appropriate values and principles. But our parents of black boys, along with parents of other ethnically underrepresented youth, are also tasked with teaching their children how to navigate the sometimes even survive a society that may give messages that undermine the parents' efforts. Anybody can relate? Anybody raising black boys? Anybody working with black boys in this room? Okay, just wanted to check for y'all. Parents often must counteract messages their youth receive from broader society, including the media and judicial and education and health systems, just to name a few. So, who's our son? Go ahead and tell us the pressures of being a black son in society.
My opinion on the pressures of being a black son is living up to the expectations of your parents. And I think with being a son and looking at what your father is doing and the way that the morals and the ethics that he's setting in the household, I think the son sometimes feels the pressure of living up to those expectations and not letting not only his father down, but the family down.
All right, excellent.
Awesome. All right, so my experience growing up as a son is just like Ernest mentioned. You have the pressures of your parents, that they put on you. A lot of times, as parents, we put the expectations that we have over our life onto our kids. And so, as a son, I always navigated trying to appease my dad and still be my own person.
And you were actually raised by your dad and not your mother.
Yes,
okay?
I was actually raised by my dad and not my mom. So it's kind of tougher. My dad had a lot of expectations on me.
And then Mr. Flowers here, director of Upperbound North and Shreveport, was raised by two fathers.
Right, absolutely.
All right, so the next category that black males have to balance is the father. So promoting responsible fatherhood is more important now than ever. The world is demanding positive change, and black fathers need to be at the helm. Understanding the black father, such as the economic challenges that stem from having lower rates of undermobility and higher rates of downward mobility than whites, leading to large income disparities that persist across generations. So that's an economic factor that affects black males and having to be the provider. So who's our father? All right, step up. Dr. Toon.
Well, my opinion of being a black father, one of the challenges I faced, because I came from a single parent home, which I was raised by my mother, and I refused, having 3 kids, I refused to go down the same path and same road that my father was, which was being absent. So one of my challenges was trying to step up, be the great father, and put high expectations for my 3 kids that I have. One daughter, which is my oldest, and I have 2 black boys, one that is grown and a young one that I'm raising now. So I've tried to be visible in their lives and, you know, set the expectation I strive and wanted them to be better than I was and succeed.
All right, that was Dr. Terrence Toney from Education Talent Search.
Awesome. So my experience with being the father, just like he mentioned, you have all these expectations of what you have for your life and what you want to give back to your kids. So I own multiple companies, and I let my kids know that, hey, if you're not happy with what I'm gonna leave you, I don't know what to tell you.
Our next role is the homie or the homeboy. In their friendships, black men confront scrutiny of their ability to handle and respond to others based on the race and gender balances. They must represent how they confront the daily slights and indignities reserved for black men, as well as deal with the larger issues of their social marginalization. So who is our homie?
I'm the homie. And some of the challenges, or one of the most distinct challenges that I faced was coming from a low-income neighborhood. I'm from Oak Cliff, Dallas, Texas, and like I got my boys, you know, we ride around the city, we do stuff, and I wanted more. I elevated. I ended up joining the Navy. I ended up getting my bachelor's and my master's degree, and now I stay in Frisco. That's the home of the Cowboys. So I struggle with my friends thinking that I'm not real anymore. You know what I mean? That I'm not able to come in and be the same boy that I was, even though that, you know, I am. I'm still that guy. I'm certain things, certain choices and decisions that I'm not going to make, but I'm still one of the boys from the hood, from the streets, and you know, and to this day, you know, there's some imposter syndrome with when I go back. Am I going to be Courtney that's elevated, the master's degree Courtney, or am I going to be Courtney that ride around and smoke weed and everything? So I chose the prior, and I don't have any regrets, but it's a huge challenge to face that at the home.
All right, let's go and have the CEO of Tech Savvy DFW. There.
All right, so navigating as the homie. Oh man, that can. I think all of us can relate to that, whether you're the female homie, I guess, or the homie. So we all have these stigmas and expectations that's put on us. You know, basically overall, just peer pressure. You know, you just want to navigate through the peer pressure of like, am I cool enough? Can I do this without getting in trouble with my parents? So there's a lot of things you navigate with the homie, but at the end of the day, I always looked at my homies as, hey, like, you know, we're all family. How I wanted to be with all my friends. So.
All right, the final role, the worker. So there's something called the success sequence Wayne and Wilcott developed. It suggests that individuals are most likely to avoid poverty and be successful if they finish their education first, obtain full-time employment next, marriage, and then have the children in that order. Is that reality for black men? The idea itself seems intuitive and positive. After all, proponents contained that this order would create more stability and successful black families. So that was their perspective of black families, with them being non-African Americans. So many black men find themselves vulnerable and unable to maintain their households with little to no liquid assets, thus adding more pressure to perform in the workplace. So who is our worker?
Good morning, everyone. Billy Flowers, Student Support Services, Southern University in Shreveport. Some of the challenges I personally faced, I'm just gonna go back to college. You wanna be your best. You know, I always ran towards work instead of running from it. And even in doing so, you find yourself at the last of the line, okay? As a black man, okay? So you get these jobs, you want to keep working, you want to keep the lights on, you want to keep your lady satisfied, things of that nature. You also deal with some microaggressions where people may touch your hair at work, for the ladies as well. I have waves in my head, but then if you didn't ask permission to do so, you really don't have business touching someone like that. So we go through a lot in the run of our day, you know, and so we give it our all and do our best, and that's my take. Thank you, guys.
All right, that was Billy Flowers with services. Okay.
All right, so on that aspect, as the worker, everybody in this room, we all been workers. With me, I was a production manager at a refinery for almost 20 years. So I actually interviewed a lot of the workers, and I had to be a worker myself first. So I know how it is navigating everybody in the room always felt underpaid. I can tell you that right now. Because as the manager, I got so many requests of, hey, I need a pay raise, and I would tell them too, I need one too. But yeah, just navigating the life of a worker, it's treacherous. You gotta provide for your family. You have to stay on the straight and narrow. As a black male, you can run out here in the streets, do any one little thing, boom, it's over with. Now you got these felonies, you can't get a job. So just being a worker overall, it's a tough thing to navigate. So.
All right, excellent. Did these gentlemen do a great job at balancing the roles of black men? So Mr. Mahoney has a special gift for you all. Tell them why that's important. Before you leave.
Talking about the monopoly game. So as a real estate broker owner, growing up as a kid, this was my favorite game. I would tell my wife all the time, she'd be like, oh my God, he talking about Monopoly again. But when you look at Monopoly, it has everything that a black male has to navigate. So you can go to jail in here. Look, if you don't pay your taxes, they come to get your money. That's Uncle Sam. Then you start at the little hood houses over on Baltic Avenue. Nobody want to be over there. So as just like all of you are college educated professionals, you wanted to work your way away from Baltic Avenue. Everybody wanted to make it to Park Place. So I'm sure there's nobody in here that said, you know what? I'm on Baltic Avenue, I'm just gonna stay there. Probably not. Because like I said, that would be like a person coming in second place. The only person that cares about second place is the guy that finished third. So that's pretty much it.
Can y'all snap this photo? My team, get together real quick. So the thing about Monopoly is our students most of them live on Baltic Avenue in that whole quarters, and so we have to teach them and empower them with tools to get them to shift around the board. So Monopoly is a great way to build student success. Let's once again thank these gentlemen. You can take a seat. Our next area is the success. And so we'll be engaging, to engage black boys, you must understand the success strategies that combat social stigmas. We're gonna play something called the success game. I hope y'all are ready to kind of move around and network a little bit, because we all need to get to know each other in this room and empower each other as trio professionals. I'm the assistant vice chancellor. I don't know if you all do not know me. I have the privilege. Can my team stand up? I have the privilege of working with, they all just came and filled out the workshop. I have the privilege of working with 5 upward bound programs, 1 educational talent search program that serves 869 students, and Veterans Upward Bound, as well as Educational Opportunity Center. So I'm excited about working with those directors. We have our executive director, Jacoby Tubbs, who's reporting for me today over those programs. So the University of Shreveport trio works. I oversee international as well as dual enrollment programs, Title IX, and everything else. Okay, so the success game is gonna work like this. We'll have about maybe 3 minutes in a huddle. So on your table, if you see a letter, a wooden letter, hold it up. Okay? So those who are in the back can this young lady maybe can take her letter back to this area back here. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna break up in groups. I didn't put the directions up. You're gonna break up in groups. Your groups are at your table. You're gonna talk about what success strategy starts with your letter. And we have a lot of S's. Okay, so try to come up with something unique. What success strategy to build African American young boys that starts with your letter, that starts with the letter you have, and why would that be impactful? Okay? Everybody got that? Go ahead and break in your groups. Pull up your letter. And why would that be impactful room. Mr. Tubbs gonna kind of walk around the room and capture each group. Ready to go. And make sure you assign one team member to come up and represent, okay? Okay, we have about 2 more minutes or so. So make sure you assign someone to represent your group.
Do we have to have so many or?
Just one.
Oh,
One for your letter.
oh, we have a few.
That's right. Why that would be impactful with others.
You know, that they have somebody that's gonna support them, because we all are different, and, you know, we have to stay out of the judge zone. I just once said, you know, we have to be co-mindfulness of listening before we respond. You know what I'm saying? So, I just say that that's just a good thing to be supportive of whoever it is, and, you know, however they.
Great. Come together really quick, and there's, you can stand there, and we'll get a quick photo of this. Excellent job. Oh, can someone hold that, then? Just put your finger right here. Can we do that? There you go. All right, hold up your letters.
Hurry up, this thing getting hot.
Thank you for representing what success really means. We're moving right along because we do have to get you to the luncheon. Okay, we're shifting into the success game. Can you pass me the book? So on your tables, there should be a flyer there to represent. If we may have just one, if you can take a picture of it, that would be great. This is the success game. This book is available. We'll also be releasing a workbook for black males. Mr. Mahoney is also available to come out and do amazing workshops, ties with success, the success game, entrepreneurship. So our final closeout, we're going to talk about the success game, the mind shift to unstoppable entrepreneurship.
Right, so basically, I'll sum it up really quick since we're on time constraints. So I just basically focus on bringing them up from, you know, all the things that we talked about, being the son, the father, the worker, and the homie. So we merge all of those aspects of life and we transform them if they want to be, because there's a lot of people, they don't want to be an entrepreneur. They would like to just be a worker for the rest of their life. So basically, I get with them and I want to talk to them about what makes them unique and what drives that they have personally. Because one thing you don't want to be is make a person be an entrepreneur, and that's not what they want to be. So that's some of the things that we focus on. And just overall, it's a community impact project more so, because I come from Shreveport, Louisiana, where you constantly see negative stigmas about a black male, and we want to change those dynamics about how everything flows.
So this is your saying.
So success is being empowered. So we always want to focus on that. You want to make sure that even if a person tells you you can't be something, you have to reprogram your mindset, because a lot of people project negative things on you. You just have to be like a duck. Just let it roll off your back because you know what you have in your heart and what God put on you for your calling in your life. So.
All right, so we absolutely want to leave you, Trio, with some strategies real quick to help you empower Black boys as you work with them. Emphasizing pride in being Black, first of all. So workshops that relate to that, experiences, getting them out in exposure will make a difference. Educate them about racial inequality. So let's talk about it. Let's be real. Let's let them know what they're going to face. Let's educate them on that so they'll know that what they're being taught in your programs can counteract what they see in media in other areas. Okay, second, emphasize the importance of race once again. Sometimes this can be called a colorblind approach. Instead, we may emphasize that hard work will ensure someone can overcome racism. So really talk about the qualities of hard work. Tackle the reality of mistrust from other ethnic groups. So we really need to help them understand how to balance that mistrust. What's really happening in the mindset of other ethnic groups versus what's happening in theirs and how they can balance, because they're gonna face it, we all know, no matter what. Empower them and stop silencing the issue of race and racism, okay? Let's talk about it. So we're wrapping it up.
So just a quick wrap up the master mindset techniques. In life, we have the player. You always want to believe in yourself. That's first and foremost on anything that you're ever going to achieve. The field, testing ideas to prove them worthy. So, like I said, I own multiple companies. I failed at certain aspects of different companies, and I started over. So you never feel that if you failed at this one thing, you can't be successful on the other side. The penalty. Basically learning from those mistakes. A lot of times the mistakes that I made, they were very beneficial to me because on the next go around, I remember what caused me to fail. And the fans, focus on customers. So with my companies, I always make sure the old adage, the customer is always right, because if you don't have the customers and treat them well, you might as well just go ahead and go back to being the worker because you won't be in business long. As far as the team, I cannot do all the things I do without my team. So you always want to surround yourself with just overall positive people that can help you see the vision. And the past, manage procrastination and perfection. The last part, the perfection, is one of my problems because it's like, you always want to have that perfect product. But overall, if we actually waited just for the perfect product, we would never launch any business.
We almost made it up here today. He's still in the printer. Come on, let's go. I'm not.
All right, so the final score, refrain from negative thoughts. Your mind can be the worst enemy at anything that you do in life if you actually delve into those thoughts. Sharp business sense. I cannot do the things I do if I didn't educate myself. Because one thing about it, when I'm selling commercial buildings, residential homes, people want to know that you're proficient at what you're doing. And impeccable interpersonal skills. You can't interact with the public if you don't have any personal skills. And those things just come over time. And so the home game, that was one of my first books. It was a Homebuyers guide that I used to do when I teach all the first-time homebuyers classes. Just a speed book of let them know where we stand and how we're going to get them from the start to the finish line of getting them the keys to their homes. And the success game is more of I've managed all those things, got the companies going, and I want to pay it forward to people that look like me.
All right, once again, seminars are available for you. We teach investment as well as business ownership. And so being a trio and being employees, we know we may not make as much, like Mr. Mahoney said. So what I want to encourage everybody to do is to find your side hustle, find your passion, and make that a business. Start an LLC and teach your students how to, every student, they don't have to have a limit of age. I've seen 5-year-olds with businesses. We can teach every one of our trio students to start a business and have an LLC based on what they enjoy, and that will transition their mindset automatically. So I want to thank you all for the Mahoney support today and the success game. Our awesome moderator. We appreciate you, trio. Here's Derrick's information, and also you can take a picture of the flyer. Continue to have a successful experience today, LASAP. And we will see you tomorrow. My presentation is also in this room. I'll be talking about HBCU a fan addicted to HBCUs, so please join me.
Before you go, on your table is a little card with the QR code on there.